This is a story about how important it is to truly know people. You might think you understand someone, but in reality, you have no idea what they're thinking or what they're capable of. And by the end of this story, you might question how well you really know anyone. This happened a few years ago. Life had been getting stressful for me and my girlfriend, Stacy. One day, she suggested we rent a cabin in the woods for a few days to get away from everything. I loved the idea, but money was tight, so she suggested something else. My best friend Randy and his girlfriend were close to us, so why not turn it into a couple's trip? We could split the cost, hang out, and make a fun weekend out of it. I liked the idea. Randy agreed immediately. We booked a cozy winter cabin, fireplace isolated, perfect. Everything seemed normal. But looking back now, that's exactly when things started going wrong. About a week before the trip, Randy and his girlfriend suddenly broke up. It was messy. We didn't know what to do. It didn't feel right to take his money, but we couldn't afford the trip alone. When I called him, he insisted we still go. And for a moment, it felt like everything worked out. But then the next day, he said something that completely changed the trip. Randy told me he had found someone else to bring. I wasn't comfortable. Stacy wasn't either. We didn't want to spend days in the middle of nowhere with a stranger, especially someone Randy barely knew. But he kept pushing. Eventually, he convinced us by offering to pay for my entire share. We agreed, but something felt off. And that feeling, it turned out to be completely justified. When the weekend arrived, we all drove together. That's when we met Lucy. She was quiet, almost too quiet. We tried talking to her during the drive, but she barely said anything. Still, nothing felt dangerous. At least, not yet. The first night was normal. We sat by the fireplace, talked, and decided to play Uno. Lucy even seemed to open up a little. But then, everything flipped. When Stacy called Uno, Lucy suddenly snapped. Her tone changed instantly. She started accusing Stacy of cheating, loudly, aggressively. At first, we thought she was joking. She wasn't. She kept yelling, screaming over a simple card game. And that's when we realized this wasn't just a normal overreaction. Something was seriously wrong. Randy tried calming her down, but she threw her cards and stormed off. Later that night, she acted completely normal, like nothing had happened. And if you think that was the weirdest part, it gets much worse. During dinner, Lucy started sharing extremely personal details about her relationship with Randy, things you don't say out loud. Randy looked embarrassed. I kept trying to change the subject. Eventually, things settled. But that night, Stacy woke me up. She told me to listen. I could hear Randy and Lucy arguing from their room. We couldn't hear the words, but the tone said everything. It was intense. And at that moment, we had no idea that this argument was just the beginning. The next day was quiet. Too quiet. Randy seemed distant. Lucy barely showed up. That night, I woke up to something I'll never forget. Randy was standing over me. He looked terrified. He asked if he could stay in our room, and if we could lock the door. And what he told me next didn't feel real. He said he woke up and saw Lucy standing at the foot of the bed, just watching him sleep. When he asked what she was doing, she calmly said she was watching him just in case. Then she walked out. A few minutes later, she still hadn't come back, so he got up to check. That's when he saw it, a large knife on the bed, and that's when everything turned from weird to dangerous. He left the room quietly. In the living room, he saw Lucy wandering, humming to herself, almost like she was sleepwalking, but something about it felt wrong. Then the floor creaked. She stopped, without even looking directly at him. She said, "I see you." How did she know he was there? Then she just kept humming. Randy ran to our room. As we tried to process everything, we could still hear her moving around. Then suddenly, the front door slammed. We checked. She was gone. Randy looked outside and saw her walking into the freezing woods, barely dressed. He ran back to his room. The knife was gone. Now the question wasn't, is she okay? It was, what is she doing out there? Stacy wanted to go after her. Randy refused. He was terrified. While we were arguing, the cabin door opened again. She came back. still humming. We locked ourselves in a room and didn't sleep at all. And honestly, we didn't know if we were safe anymore. The next morning, Lucy was in the kitchen, calm, normal, smiling, like nothing had happened. We tried to explain it away. Sleepwalking, stress. But Randy didn't believe that. And a few minutes later, he proved why. He called me into his room. While packing, he had moved Lucy's bag, and a knife fell out. The same knife. So now we had to ask ourselves, was any of this an accident? We didn't confront her. We just waited. The drive home was silent. After that, Randy cut her off completely. And strangely, she never contacted him again. No messages, no calls, nothing. We tried finding her online. No social media, no records, nothing. It was like she never existed. And to this day, I still wonder, what would have happened if we hadn't locked that door